Welcome everyone to our Tuesday talk, where we talk everything about designing, developing, and delivering learning experiences, how to get the content out of your head, how to transform that into an experience that people are going to love, and how to market that as well. So today, and if you're just tuning in, this is going to be a good one today. We're actually streaming live into LinkedIn for the first time today. So if you're on LinkedIn and catching this, basically what we're doing, my Tuesday talk is, just me giving a bit of information around a number of different things that are associated with, as I said, designing, developing, and delivering on learning experience. After that, once I finish up, going to open up for questions. So we'll just see if we get any questions coming through. So as part of today's talk, I want to talk about the power of visuals. So talking about, what is that? The power of visual models, I should say. So let's jump into it. So obviously there's that, age-old quote, a picture is 1,000 words, okay? And it's true that the power we have with using visuals over text is so much more. And certainly, looking at where we can use this, where we can use visuals is really going to be powerful. And obviously what we're going to be talking about today is really focusing in not just on any sort of visual, but on visual models. And why I can use this. And this is not just something that you can use in the development of your learning programs. And while certainly that's going to be great when you're creating a signature solution, you want to be able to create some visual models that tell people about what your signature solution is. When you're building out the learning content as part of that signature solution, then obviously looking at having some models there to explain what the process is, to explain the benefits or whatever it is that you're trying to convey through that model are really good. But the other great benefit of having the visual models is from a marketing point of view. So even before someone actually engages with you to undertake your course or your program, whatever that might be, then you can certainly look at how you can actually use visual models as well as a way to market your services and market your offering. And let people know what your signature solution is. So some really great, powerful visuals there. And obviously it's much easier to do that with visuals than with words. Like you ask someone to read a lot of stuff, they're going to, eyes are going to glaze over. They're not going to be overly interested. Whereas with the visual model, you're actually going to attract their attention. Because, the reality is that the writing's been on the wall for quite a while around how effective visuals are. Just going back to caveman times and before there was any sort of a form of really defined language, visuals were being used. And so this is not a new thing. This is certainly something that's been around for a while, but certainly often that we get caught up and we probably write a lot more stuff rather than actually pulling it out into some visuals or visual models that really help you to sell your business, to explain what you're teaching, and to provide some education. But the reality is that when we're actually looking at the brain, 50% of what the brain's resources are really dedicated to processing visual information. Okay, it's what engages with us. We get a lot of that visual information. We attract it attracts us, when we see things as opposed more to hearing things. And certainly, there's a whole range of, research and statistics and things around how effective people learn. And saying, like, for example, with Mayer's principles of multimedia, where it's saying that people learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. Okay. This is also duplicated when we're talking about the picture superiority effect, where it's saying that, okay, well, 10% of people will retain information after a period of 3 days where it's text and audio alone, whereas if it's actually text plus pictures, then that ability to retain that information is going to be greater and higher than 65%. Okay. And you're probably going to look at this picture and that's probably going to resonate with you, and you're probably going to remember the visuals on this slide more than the previous one where I just had text sitting there. Okay, so text and visuals certainly provide a huge benefit in getting your message across. And again, we look at what happens in marketing. Well, marketing are doing things for a reason, and you certainly don't see dot points on a billboard. You don't see huge amounts of text. We want to engage people. We want to attract their attention. Well, marketing, you do it with high quality visuals. Because the reality is what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect with emotions, okay? We want to connect emotionally with people. And the reality is that 95% of our behaviors is subconscious. And that subconscious behavior is very much driven by our lizard brain, which is our subconscious, our emotional brain. And while we might look at things and we might tell ourselves that we've made a logical decision as to why we did a certain thing, the reality is that 95% of those choices are subconscious, made by the emotional brain, made by the older lizard brain, which is more dominant, always on. Okay. And so by using visuals, then we're actually able to tap into that emotional lizard brain a lot better. If you look at the amount of information that is being processed, we've got 11 million bits of data per second, whereas the subconscious brain is looking at 40 bits of data per second. Okay. Now, what's one of the best ways to get, all of that data to be absorbed? And that is using a visual. Okay. So there's some really great, powerful tools and reasons for using visuals in everything that we do. So this is not just about creating your learning content. It's also in the marketing that you're doing. It's also in, the messaging you have on your website, a whole range of things. So looking at a whole range of powerful things to use when you're creating your visual models. Because the reality is what we want to be able to do is we want to trigger emotions to change behavior. Okay. Now, that might be to change a buying behavior. So if we're using visuals or using visual models in our marketing of our signature solution, marketing of our program, then obviously we're going to want to use, trigger emotions to do that, to change that behavior. Then when we come to creating the educational content, when we come to actually creating, learning content for people, then again, we want to trigger behaviors. We want to change behaviors in attitude, behavior in performance, behaviors in a lot of different things that we want to change. And because 95% of our decisions are done emotionally, well, we need to be able to trigger the emotions to change those behaviors. The best way to do that is through visuals. Okay. So what about visual models then? So how do visual models play a part as opposed to just straight visuals? Okay, so I suppose a visual can be, the images and things that you use. I've just used in the PowerPoint there in the presentation, images of people, images of the lizard when I'm talking about the lizard brain, looking at, circles and graphs and other different things that you can use in infographics. Okay, whereas a visual model is probably more targeted at actually telling a bit more of a story and is very much focused on a specific thing. So we want to look at a visual model that tells a bigger story, tells a process, explains the benefits or different things like, a whole range of different things like that. So basically what it allows us to do is it allows us to really communicate larger amounts of information much quicker than if we were to go, okay, well, this is the information that I want to convey in this visual model. Then obviously, you're going to be able to try and write that out in pages of text. Well, it's going to be a little bit harder. Whereas by putting it visually into some sort of a model, okay. So when I'm talking about a visual model, I'm talking about things that might be a process. It could be, I'll show you a couple and we'll go through. So it's really one of those visual models that you can use, and this is our results model that we talk about. The results that we get, that we provide for our clients, where, we can talk about, we want to help people to move into the blue ocean where they're having a high volume of clients and they're delivering their program one-to-many. And the issue is that many clients are sitting in the red ocean, have a low volume of clients and delivering one-to-one. Or they move into the sinking ship where they're generating a high volume of clients, but they're still doing one-to-one. And as a result, they're at risk of burnout. Or they're delivering one-to-many, but got a low volume of clients and they're sitting on that deserted island. Okay, so there we go. So that's a visual model just explaining some of the results that we can provide. Very quickly, clearly, you can see how that works out. So this visual model is basically a matrix type model. Whole range of other different models you can use that are process flows or circular flows and different things like that, that you can use to really explain, well, these are the results that we're going to get as part of this program, as part of, working with me. These are the results this is where we're going to get you to go. Okay. You can also look at providing answers. And so this is our answers model, where we talk about, well, okay, the keys to success, to be able to be successful. We talk about how we want to create a signature solution, and to do that, well, these are the different things. Or you want to be able to scale your business and unpack your IP and scale your business. Well, what do you need to do? Well, you need to have these things in place. Okay, so this is another visual model that you can use to really explain, okay, well, this is the process. So with the visual models, when you look at the two of them, they're quite different in the different ways. So visual models that you're using will generally be linear, where there's a sort of a start point or an end point. Then you'll have ones that are potentially a little bit more non-linear, such as the matrix, where you can jump in at different points, different things there. And then you've also got ones that are like this, that are not necessarily linear. They're more sums of a whole, and going, okay, well, to have all of the things, then you need to put all of these together. So, for example, linear would be a simple, process. I'll show you one in a minute. Whereas your sum of a whole might be pie chart, where you've got different pieces, or like this one that's there, or a circular figure that shows, okay, these are all the different ones with different segments. So you can have a look at a whole range of different visual models, but it really comes down to is really explaining quite quickly and easily what it is you're providing and what the benefits are that you're providing as part of that. Okay. As I said, you can use a visual model to explain a process. Okay. So this is our visual model, and this is the process we take our clients through when we're moving them from the red ocean to the blue ocean. We want to help them to scale business. We want to help them be able to deliver one-to-many and generate the high volume of ideal clients. And obviously what we do is we're taking them through this process. Okay. The other great thing is, from a process point of view as well, from the visual models, is that it really gives you a great opportunity not just to use this in your training and use this in your marketing to explain people what you're doing, but it really gives you a whole lot of clarity as well, even before you get to that point. So you can actually map out your model, whether it be a process model or whatever, results model or answers, whatever model it is that you map out, but certainly with a process model, you can map it out and go, right, these are the steps that we're taking. These are the steps that we're going to go to get someone from problem to prize. And you map it out, and then you go, right, what are we missing? Okay. When you're writing things down and when you've actually got it in a visual line, you can actually see, right, this is what we're missing. All right, we need to put an extra step in here as part of this process. So by creating that visual model, then it really does give a very neat and distinct way of providing you with clarity, provides your clients with clarity, provides your clients with confidence as well, because they know, okay, I'm going to be working with, our clients. When they come and work with us, they know, bang, this is the process that we're going to take them through, and they know that we've got a defined process to take through. It also means that then once you've got this process developed into a visual model, that you're no longer working in a very sort of strange and bespoke way. Okay, you've got everything mapped out, very scalable, and means then obviously you're able to streamline your business as well by putting things together into these visual models. And then again, you can also use your visual model to sell the benefits. So this is what we call our targets model, where we go through, look at the life, as a result of people working through with us, the results, we move into the blue ocean, we get those keys to success in place, we move them through our process, and we can help them create impactful results. They're going to get faster outcomes through working with us, and they're going to be able to generate that lifestyle business. Okay, so very much easier way to sell the benefits through a visual model. So really, it's all around getting your message across easily. Okay. Now, I could have done this presentation and I could have been explaining the same things. Probably would have been a bit counterintuitive, but I could have filled it up with lots and lots of text. Okay. You would have been trying to read it, you would have been trying to absorb it, you probably wouldn't have absorbed half as much of that information as what you have. But certainly by including visuals and by putting together visual models, then I'm hoping that you would have gone through, and as part of this process, that you would have gotten much quicker and easier understanding of what we do, but also how visual models can help you. So really it's very much around getting a message across easily. And as I said before, this is a message when you're dealing with prospective clients, when you're pitching, when you're delivering your training program, whole range of different ways that you can use visual models as part of that process. So that was a little quick Tuesday talk around the power of visual models. Now, as I said, I'm going to open up for questions. Anyone got any questions? Feel free, please drop them into the chat. Hopefully Restream will pick it up and we'll be able to see them on here. As per usual, if you're watching this after the event, any comments, questions, chat, again, please drop it into the chat, whether you're watching it on our Facebook group, watching it on YouTube, or you're watching it now via LinkedIn and on the recording. Got any other questions? If you're watching the recording, drop it into the chat. Sorry, I think I might have been on mute there. Okay, sorry, what I was saying before. Going back, what I was saying before. So as I said before, thank you very much. No questions there. Look, one of the things that we do with our clients is we help them to create a signature solution. And the key part at the start of that is to really unpack the IP, unpack their intellectual property into a series of visual models that really helps to convey that message. Once we've got those visual models done, everything just falls out as part of that process. So if you're interested in having a chat with us around how we can help you create those visual models, how we can then turn those visual models into a signature solution, book on for one of our clarity calls. we'd love to have a chat with you. But yeah, any other question you've got there, please drop them in the chat below. Always happy to chat. Thank you very much.